Hey everybody, is a doctor here, and pretty much coming in right on the heels of our review of typical manga review of Akame ga Kill chapter 58, comes Akame ga Kill chapter 59, Kill Your Assumptions. And we pretty much pick up right from that one left off, where Dorothea and Leon were about to start fighting, which at first glance would seem like an odd mismatch, because we have Leon, the beast woman, versus Dorothea, the frilly vampire girl.
Yeah.
But they're pretty much ready to go here. Like Leon kind of just seems to drop to the ground and gets ready to just leap at her. Just, I guess pounce would probably be the right word here. And I have to admit, this surprised me when I saw it happen. But Dorothy actually catches her fists.
And as it turns out, it's because she's actually the physically the strongest member of Wild Hunt.
Yeah. Like I said, you wouldn't think it with all the frillies.
This is such a shonen thing to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is.
The smallest person's the strongest.
Oh yeah, I mean, hell, let's look at the Straw Hats. I mean, Luffy's like a scrawny guy.
Yeah, and Tony Chopper can transform into a gigantic beast.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that would count, because, like I said, in these cases, like, they stay scrawny, but they're still the most powerful one.
Yeah, I think of myself like Ukiura, you know?
There we go, that's another example right there.
Because I know Ukiura was like shorter than everyone.
Yep. Gaara.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, he's not really a physical powerhouse.
Yeah, well, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, like I said, they're pretty much just starting up here. Like, there's we're getting some back and forth taunting between them. Let's see
yep,
here.
really shonen-esque.
Oh yeah.
But at least stuff is happening while they're taunting. It's not like them standing still and then taunting and then fighting again. It's like, nope, they're fighting and taunting at the same time.
Yeah, that's one thing about Akame ga Kill characters. They're practical fighters.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Some more fighting. Yeah. And she's basically just saying, to sit there like a good girl, and watch all your friends meet their end. And she says Akame may have defeated Izo, but now faced with my troops, there's nothing left for her but certain death. It's kind of interesting that she basically says that, yo, you could beat Izo, but not these guys. It's like, well, so they were stronger than Izo? It's weird.
Yeah. Plus, even if they aren't completely stronger, there's still a matter of, one, she's probably biased because she made them, and two, there's 4 of them to 1 of her.
Yeah, and as it turns out, they are actually based on teamwork. So she kills the first one, basically, and it turns out it's because, first off, when she slashes him, she can't actually pull Murasame out of him.
Oh, that's right. The first one is like, yeah, it pretty much like gets the sword stuck in him, so that pretty much removes her best weapon.
And it turns out it's because he was a sacrificial pawn. Like, the whole point was just to get him to take away her katana, and now she basically has no weapon with her. And now there's 3 left, basically. So,
of course, as the narration starts kind of going for us here, like I said, her fighting style is not entirely reliant just on having her tegu, her sword. Like,
as the legendary Gray Fox of Metal Gear Solid used to say, only a fool would trust his life to a weapon. Hand to hand is the basis of all combat.
Yep.
I love Gray Fox. And so, yeah. So what option would Akame decide on? A good old-fashioned bare-knuckled brawl.
Yep. Shonen approved.
Shonen approved. And so she just punches the first one, grabs the other one's like feet, I think, or arm. What the hell is that? She grabbed. Oh no, he grabbed her, I think.
Yeah, he grabbed her. That's grabbing her wrist, but she just turns it into a grapple. It looks like.
Yeah, she punches him in the face too, and she throws him. I think, right? Or she just, I don't know what I think she just punched him.
It looks more like she leaps over him and then and then grabs him with her legs.
Yeah. There you go. I wasn't sure if that's the same one, because I'm like, the other guy got punched pretty badly. So she leaps over him, grabs her sword, so now she slashes the other guy who's left.
Yep,
so I think now, so she horizontally bisects him.
That's a popular method of death at the moment.
It really is. And there are 2 left from the ground. That's weird, because there was 4 of them, 3 left. She killed 1. I guess maybe that was a different one she killed. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, there were 4 altogether. She's killed 2 so far. But by page 19, she's killed all of them.
Well, I thought these 2 on page 18 was ones from the ground, because she said there was someone hiding in the ground.
Maybe. I'll have to go back and look, but
because she killed 1, and then she killed a second one, and then I assume that she jumped over to the third one, and then she killed the fourth one right after that.
Okay.
That,
Yeah,
which meant that she leaped over the third one, and that she actually punched the second one. So I think that's how it worked. Because it showed that the second one got hit really badly in the face, but then when it showed her leaping, the other guy didn't seem flinch at all. His face was okay, so it seemed like she actually jumped over the third one instead,
Yep.
not the second one.
Yeah. And
It would make sense, but with the numbers too.
Yeah, but at this point, Leon pretty much just taunts Dorothea with the fact that while she's skilled with her sword, she is not reliant on it. Like, even without it, she's still lethal.
Yeah.
Oh, here's where she points out the ones that are still underground. Like, there are still a few underground waiting for an opening. I'll bury them as well.
Yeah, but they're not the 4 that came out. There's actually more than 4.
Right. Like, we've only had 4 initially, and then we have these guys here, it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, because you saw there was the first 4, and then you saw 2 more, which were the 5 and 6, come out from the ground, which showed you that they could actually hide in the ground. Yeah. So that means there are actually more than 6 of them. 6 of them are already dead. Yep. But there could be more. And they said now Akame is lethal, without her imperial arms. So and then Leon's like, as am I.
Yep, like when it comes to tenacity and guts, I've got them all in spades. Of course, he tries to launch an attack, and Dorothea manages to dodge that. But now they're lined up getting ready for round 2.
Yep, and pretty much ends the chapter.
Yeah, I said it's weird that was so short compared to 58, which is like double the length.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, round 2. Hopefully Leon, Akame and Tatsumi are obviously gonna survive this, but I hope Leon doesn't go down, because
like I think at worst we might see maybe a double knockout or something. But because like it's pretty much been an established rule, either by superstition or just by how he writes, the author writes, like when 2 Tegu users fight, one of them will die. That's established right at the beginning. Like it's actually a rule that Akame quotes. Like if 2 Tegu or Imperial Army users fight each other, one of them will die at least.
Yeah, but it's also kind of weird that. But of course, I think the problem is that then if Leon dies and they somehow finish Dorothea off, you got Wave, Kuroe, whatever Akame's sister's name is, and then Esdet. So you got 3 versus 2.
Well, there's still an agenda.
Oh yeah, but she's not much of a front-line person, is she?
Not as much as I think she might have been once upon a time, but she's still pretty tough, I think.
Okay.
She can probably take maybe Wave or.
Well, I just feel that in this situation, because Akame
2-on-3 wouldn't be a bad thing in this case. I can already kind of see it. Akame versus Kurome, Tatsumi versus Wave, and then both of them versus Esdeath.
Okay, but I don't want it to become like the Basilisk, which is when everyone just basically dies at the end. It's like, no, let's have some actual survival thing here going on. Like let's not have them assume that Leon's gonna die because that's the way it seems like it's going. There's still a chance she could survive, And I just feel like, if having just one person left at the end, or having nobody left at the end, is kind of like in a way it actually feels it's kind of cheat, because that's what they did with the anime.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stupid, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people could get pissed off at that, just because it feels like, and Bassett did basically the same thing. Spoiler alert: everyone dies. So it was kind of stupid.
Yeah. I don't know quite. So I'm afraid next chapter we'll probably see the rest of this fight with maybe like a brief cut into Tatsumi and Cosmina.
And then again, Dorothea doesn't seem wants to make her an experimental subject, so I guess she might not try to completely kill her.
Well, not completely there, but enough to like take her out for sure.
But at the same time, though, Akame's there, so I mean, she's obviously busy right now. But I mean, in the end, like this is not like it's not like she's alone, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like Dorothea. I don't think Dorothea's gonna get out of here alive. That's the thing.
Not easily. I mean, not if she does, it's going to be at the sacrifice of Cosmina easily.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see her like somehow getting herself out of there. And she is probably the one who could do that, like who the author would let get out of there and survive to fight another day. Whether that would cost Leon her life in the process or not, I have no idea. But I don't know. Somehow I don't think so.
I just think killing people off for the sake of killing people off is kind of stupid. I think that if you really want to, like, I just don't. I'd rather not have the situation where every fight one main member dies. It's just kind of like, well, that's kind of in a way predictable, but also kind of like it lessens the death, because then you at a point you're expecting it. This person's gonna die.
Maybe, but at the very same time, it does increase the tension, because in this case, like unlike where we kind of discussed with Attack on Titan, there is a definite possibility of at least one of the 2 dying. Like the only ones who can be sure are guaranteed to survive right now are Tatsumi and Akame.
Yeah, but I just think that there'll be a lot more, because I think there'd be a lot more grief in the final battle if Leon's gonna die, then I think it'd be better if she fought against the actual Esdes people. Whereas with Wild Hunt, it's just kind of like, yeah. If she died against Wild Hunt, it just wouldn't feel as great, It wouldn't be as big.
Yeah. Did Wild Hunt take out any of Night Raid other than, I think, Lubak?
I don't.
Because I think even then Lubak killed their leader before that happened, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a loss on Night Raid's side. Well, not I mean, in the sense, like, I mean, he died, but he took out like the head of the snake, so to speak, in the process. So nothing against Lubak. He went out good in that case, and got some sweet revenge.
Yeah. It's just that I just feel that Leon dying shouldn't be a certainty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't. I just feel like a part of a series when they actually do a anyone can die type of thing is that although deaths can be random, they're also many times unexpected. If you feel like if we're assuming Leon's gonna die simply because Tatsumi and Akame is safe, and because the author always tries to kill someone off, it feels sort of I don't want to predictable, but it feels so part of his own specific formula that it doesn't make me mostly invested in that, because if she did something big or you get the feeling that she wasn't gonna die and then she does die, then and it also has to be logically. It can't just be like, it can't be like a Deus Ex Machina type of situation where she somehow was able to Dorothy was able to kill her. You know, it's when you kill someone off, especially big characters, and when you kill people off a lot, you have to do it in a very meaningful way. You can't just be like, you can't just like, well, he dies and this guy will die next chapter and this guy will die next chapter. You can't just do that, because then people who read this manga will get kind of numb to deaths. Then right?
Yeah, it stops losing meaning after a while there.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Yep.
We're obviously gonna get more of the Dorothea fight, Dorothea versus Leon fight, but also Cosmina versus Tatsumi.
Yeah. So at this point, and we'll probably see like the effects of Incursio like furthering on Tatsumi as well. I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I don't think about that big, because he's using it for the 1 out of 4 times. So I think we'll start seeing it. Yeah.
We'll still see something, I'm sure.
But he'll get stronger though. I think it makes him stronger, but as it kills him basically.
Yeah.
So if anything, I think the effect will just make him stronger, and maybe the third or fourth time, you'll start seeing like bad negative effects. But I think for the first 2 times, I think he'll just get really strong, like even stronger. But yeah, and who bets? I mean, I feel like you're gonna call it. I feel like he's gonna die, and then Mine's gonna wake up. And it's gonna be like, oh wow, that's kind of bullshit.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? Like, it's just like we're basically predicting everyone's death. It's just kind of like, wow, it doesn't feel.
And that's one thing I don't like about the anyone can die type stories, like, because it doesn't really give you a lot of incentive to go to the end of it at that point.
The anyone can die type of stories are big when they do it for the first time. When it starts building a reputation as anyone can die, then people start predicting death. And in which case, it doesn't feel as big as it could have been in the first time.
Right. It loses its seriousness. It loses its meaning.
Yeah, because then you're just like, oh, he died. Okay, well, I kind of saw that coming. Or he died. Oh, death flag. This death flag. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one who may die and will still shock us is Akame, and
yeah, and that, like I said, I could see that maybe happening in like the final fight with Esdes, like to prevent that one-hit kill from working.
You could also argue that everyone's gonna die at the end, and just see what I'm saying? Like we're predicting everyone's death, and we're not really like emotionally like distraught about it. We're just like, oh yeah, he might die in like the last chapter. He's gonna die in the last chapter. There's no
you are dead. You are dead. You may live about 50-50, but you're dead. Go ahead.
See, the thing is that there's no hope. There's no hope for an actual good ending. Which we're already making the worst of assumptions. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I mean, there's already little room for a good ending because mine and Tatsumi.
Ironically, the chapter's called "Killing Assumption."
Well, maybe that's something we need to be thinking about here.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like the problem with the anyone can die is that it basically makes everyone assume the worst case scenario after it establishes reputation. In which case, you can't really you can't really emotionally invest or enjoy the story as much as you maybe did initially, you know.
Yep.
And some people, I mean, some people still get drawn into that and it gets screwed around. Like Game of Thrones, for some reason, everyone gets surprised when someone dies. It's like, no, why? I kind of saw that coming.
I mean, yeah, you pretty much have to assume that if a character is in a dangerous situation, there's at least a legitimate chance they aren't going to make it out of it.
Unless it's like some type of untold story that only they could answer.
Right.
But yeah. So, anything else you want to say?
No, but I think we got everything kind of set to go here. Like I said, these are mostly fight chapters. Not a lot to get into theories on beyond what stuff we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Like mostly it's going to be
pretty much.
Yeah. We'll see. Like I said, they're still good chapters though. They are still good action, good fighting to watch here. I think you yourself said like the author here does in 7 pages what Bleach needs 7 chapters for.
Yeah. Did they actually mention when the next chapter is going to be?
I didn't see anything about that, no. But they're usually once a month though, so we'll probably be getting something pretty quick within a few weeks here.
Well, I mean, that's the confusing part because now that he released 2 chapters, does that mean he's gonna have like an extra break or you know?
I don't know. I think he already had the break. That's maybe why we had the extra length chapter. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure about that now.
Yeah, it's really confusing. Maybe does the comment section say anything about that?
Let's see here. Let's go with. Here. Just gonna do like a little search for a month or release. Nothing there at first glance, but let me kind of scroll it down, get some more comments loaded.
Are you looking at the manga stream comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of it can be a little confusing sometimes with the way they do orders. Like because when they skip a week due to Golden Week, because I think that's or something like that.
Yeah, they're the Japanese spring break basically.
They don't have to make up for that, you know.
Yeah, because that's a holiday. That's like
yeah.
Like if we took spring break off or something like that here, it's the same thing.
But at the same time, that's also mostly applied to the weekly guys. If you're a monthly guy, I don't know how the breaks come out, you know, because then you basically get a lot more breaks in terms of. I mean, obviously you still have to work really hard,
right?
But you basically have 2 weeks worth of chapters.
I mean, maybe that's
usually 40 pages.
Maybe that's why we got the double chapter this time. I don't know.
Because I mean, who's the guy? I think his name was Yabuki Kentaro, who does To Love Ru Darkness and the original To Love Ru, of course. He stated that working a monthly series is easier than doing a weekly series because you basically you do less content.
Right, and you can spread out your time more too.
Yeah, so it's just better. Like he actually switched to monthly basis with To Love Ru Darkness because he needed time to take care of his kid.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, a good reason as any, right there.
Yeah.
Right, like I said, we'll be sure to review Akame ga Kill 60 whenever Akame ga Kill 60 comes out. In the meantime, this has been Chapter 59, Kill Your Assumptions, which we're apparently very bad at doing. But we'll see how, like I said, at this point it's just a matter of seeing what happens. Like I said, we're in action mode right now, so it's just following what happens. I kind of repeated myself there. Sorry about that. Alright, go ahead and take us away.
Bye!